What do they do with their children at school? Do you have any insight into that? Information is all around us in the modern age in which we live, so it can be difficult to separate the good information from the bad. We don't live forever in this world, so we should use this time we have to develop both mentally and physically. However, schools take up a lot of time in this life. We can all agree that we wasted time in school and that we didn't learn much from it. The pressures are enormous when it comes to school. Children have to meet certain criteria that generates large amounts of stress for them. Parents tend to pressure their children into building other people's dreams, which ultimately leads to dissatisfaction, depression, and in some cases, suicide. The education system imposes a work ethic on children so that they can use them as slaves later in life. No school teaches children about starting their own business and how to live independently. Children are forced to get up every morning at a specific time and spend half the day sitting in rows, listening to hard and unimportant information. Lately, there has been an increase in education regarding sexual intercourse. We see that in most countries that teaching about homosexuality and gender choice is also forced in class. This ideology is present for a reason, and it is to destroy the concept of marriage and family. No sexual narrative should be imposed on children because children are incapable of making rational decisions. Children are taught from an early age that boys and girls should sit in the same rows and encourage children to have early female and male relationships. Statistics say that about 20% of 12 to 18-year-olds worldwide have reported being bullied by other students. The question is, how many children are scared to report being bullied? With certainty, we can say that this number is much higher. Bullying affects a child's self-esteem, and later this can result into stress and depression. Cases of teachers sexually abusing children from school have skyrocketed. Teachers in this form of work, in most cases, are not mentally fit and are actually incapable of teaching. In the past 20 years, 310 schools in America have been a target of school shootings. One of the well-known cases of school shooting has been at Columbine High School.
Eric Harris wrote online, because he started a website about evolution. And he says, you know what I love? Natural selection. It's the best thing that ever happened to the earth. Getting rid of all the stupid and weak organisms. But it's all natural. Yes.
Children are encountering narcotics, alcohol, and cigarettes for the first time in elementary schools. Because of their curiosity and naivety, children easily fall into the clutches of this vice. It is impossible to supervise the actions of every child in school, and teachers do not have the time to deal with the prevention of destructive activities of children. Parents are seeing less and less of their children, and their children are becoming estranged from their parents. Parents do not have insights into what their children are doing when they are in school, and it is common for children to not talk to their parents about situations that occur at school. There are many ways to teach your children. You can hire someone who is trustworthy and an expert in this field, or you can teach your children how to do something and use books and information that are available to everyone. One of the best options right now is homeschooling. Homeschooling is positive because it reduces the impact of the system on your children. The concept of school is good if done correctly. An example of a good school education was founded by Svethi Sava, who taught children in his schools to read, write, about morality, and how to become a good person.
America, here we are again. This is not a new nightmare. It is a recurring one. Another mass shooting, this time Texas. At least 19 children murdered, shot dead with a high-powered rifle. 2 teachers also killed. An elementary school turned killing field. There are new details this evening, none of them good, none of it easy to hear. The best we can hope for tonight is for context. In these early hours, there is no comfort to be had.
He says, I ain't going to apologize for speaking the name of Jesus. And you know what? Even to her very last breath, she didn't apologize. Rachel Scott's story really changed my life. I remember watching the movie about them going into the school and shooting up the place. And I remember seeing a playback of what happened to Rachel. And, I thought, wow, what compassion that she had up until the very end. She had compassion, looked them in the eye and said, I believe in God. And more or less is saying, I want you to believe in him too. I want you to have the same compassion that Rachel had, folks. I want to have that compassion.
Think carefully before sending your child to school.